Hello, everyone. It's Sharing Creations by Carrie. It's Carrie. Hope you're all doing well. I have been doing a little bit of playing, trying different things, watching some videos, and seeing if I can pull it off too. And I did see someone, and I don't remember which person it was because I watched so many videos this past week. But someone said that you could use the sheets, photo sheets. So that's what I tried. It's still wet. I didn't hit them with the heat gun, so they probably would be dry if I did that. But they're still smudgy. So I keep getting this stuff on my hands. So this one is I took some ink, mashed it on my glass mat, sprayed some water, and then mashed the paper down on it. And I did that with inks. Yeah, I did this, I kind of like, it was a puddle. So I kind of mashed it in. It kind of gives an interesting background. That's still wet too. And I was using my different inks. And I didn't use any of my Distress Oxide. So I don't know if I would get a different result. But I found an ink that I absolutely loved. The color is like a navy blue. I'm a 50 Shades of Blue. And so I took, now mind you, I think these are all Temu inks. Yeah, this mess of color, trying to do backgrounds and trying the different techniques, and they're all, I believe, all Temu inks. Yeah. Like, I used this, which is like a finger paint type one, and the C ink pad. Actually, I don't think that one worked with this technique, but I think I used one of their inks that I originally got, Love ink pad. I wouldn't count that. I would count that at the bottom of ink pads. But I wanted to play and see what results I could get. The impressions I got were not that great. One thing I did forget to try was ink blending. That was another thing. Darn it. I was going to do ink blending. So if you have any paper this is Kodak paper that I used to print my own photos. And this, I took a background stamp, and while it was wet, pressed it on there, cleaned the stamp, pressed it on. I think I did it 2 or 3 times to pull up the ink. So you get in a reverse stamp. And I think it's gorgeous. It's interesting. I can't remember. I think I tried to ink blend, but it was really slippery. So I think the Distress Oxides would be something that may work better. And I think that's what I was supposed to do. So I have a bunch of these because I don't use my printer anymore. And I think I couldn't buy the inks anymore. So we're going to take a Distress Oxide. What do we have up here? Let's go. This stack. Different shades. And let me try to quickly grab some blending brushes. Mind you, I hate these. I wish I'd never bought them. They definitely didn't like the shiny paper. And they just don't blend well. I don't even know why I tried. What other color do I got in here? Okay. Ow. Jeez, I keep banging my knee. I can't wait till I get this craft room organized so that I can stop banging my dang knee. I don't even know what color's which. Sorry it shakes. This is the crappy desk that I want to move away from. So that's this. See, that's not even working either. That's not working. Did I try my other inks? I don't think I tried my other inks. Let's see if regular inks will work. Nope. They're too soft in color. So, unless I take forever to spend. See, it's just kind of like messy. So I'm going to have to try to see if I can find that video again, because that seems to be a fail at the moment. So, and I have a bunch of these, so I want to be able to use them. And I think she even used embossing powder. So I'll have to go back and look at that again and try it. So that was me trying to play with my inks and see how far I could go. So last week, I did a whole thing about ribbon. And I forgot that I had this one still, because I had done the double-sided tape, and this is really thin ribbon, which is literally this sheer. You can see right through it. Didn't factor that in when I was putting it down. So I had to come up with plan B to fix that, which I am learning is if I make a mistake, I try to find a way to fix it. And so far, I haven't chucked a card in the trash yet, because I will walk away, try to come up with something to fix it, and then go back to it. So that's what I did with this one. I set it aside because I'm like, I tried to double layer up the ribbon. That wasn't working. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do to fix this because I don't want to throw it away. And so I took Mod Podge and coated it with Mod Podge. And then I played with embossing powders that I turned them into sprays. And so I got a pearlish color, goldish pearl, and hopefully you can see. You can. Okay. There's that pearlescence color on there. And I rubbed it on. I put it on some paper towel and I rubbed it on to catch the deboss of. Because what I did was I put ribbon on here and then I ran it through embossing folder, so it's got the pattern and texture and depth. And then I cut out these 3 pieces in a pearlescent paper, and then threw a couple of those little diamond painting pieces. Oops, my hair is hitting the mic, sorry. And so that's a nice little pretty card. But it didn't end up in the trash because I found a solution. And that's what I keep finding is I'll make a mistake and then I'm like, well, I don't want to ditch this. How can I make it better? How can I make it work? And so I've catch myself making many mistakes and trying to find a way to fix it. So then I had seen, I believe it was Natasha Foot again. I think she is Australian. She sounds like she has an Aussie accent. I could be wrong. But she was doing this leaf thing where she did the blending on the back, but she used leaves. And just like it is on here in white paper, she did all leaves. well, I was digging through my dies, and I'm like, let me go see if I got some leaves. Well, I started in the middle, or the beginning of my box of dies, and my cat and dog dies are all in the front. And I was like, I haven't used these very much. I've probably only used these dies twice. Let me use these dies again. And I had done the blending, did 3 colors. I did a light color, did a medium color, then a dark color, and blended the edges so that it wasn't a stark, drastic line between them. And that's one of the things that she had done. And I was like, well, that makes it look, the blending look better. So it does take a little bit of extra time to blend those edges so it doesn't look like lines between the different colors. And it looks so nice. It's harder to tell now that I've got all those things on it, but it actually does look nice. Even with just a blank piece of paper, you can just see that it's a blending of colors, which I'm no pro at blending. But when you go back to the color, so I did a light color in the center and then a medium color in the next ring. And then I went back with the light color over the edge, and it takes away that sharp edge. And then I did the dark around the edge, and then I took that middle color and did the same thing around the edges of that. So it does a graduation, and you'll get another color between each of them because you're blending. That you don't have a stark edge, but you get another shade of that blue, and it's pretty. So just remember, start in the middle, do that complete circle, then do your next color, and then take the first color in the center and blend that edge. And then when you do the outside of the third color, take the second color and blend the edge. And then you may have to do it a couple of times, but it ends up being worth it in the end because I think these colors came out really good. So I did it with the dogs in the white. And then I had in the dies it had a bone. So I ink blended the bone so it wasn't a stark white so it wouldn't blend into the dogs. And then I took the word love and I did the lighter color and then I did this color at the tips. And then I did a little bit of silver lines around the bone and then added some metal looking hearts. And I think it turned out cute. And then with this one, I did the same. I did 3 colors, did the blending just like I did, except for the bone. I did dots around the bone, and then I threw some red tiny little blings, and then did the dots on the love, and then added a few of the bling. These are cute too. I think they turned out cute. You can do this with any dies that you have. If you have flowers, if you have leaves, it looks nice with the solid white against whatever color background you want to do. And you can just add she said that she did a large one in the middle and then added the leaves randomly around it to fill it in. And I think it's pretty cute with the dogs too. I'm partial. I love dogs. Kitties too. I'm an animal lover. But you can literally do this with any die that you have. If you have one leaf die, that's what she did was she cut out one leaf die and cut it out like 8 times. I just so happen to have a bunch of different, I think I have 2 sets of the larger dogs and then the small dogs, puppies. So I cut them both. And you can do this with any die you have. I think it would be something interesting, different. So those are those. Babbled on about those forever. And then I'll go the order of the ones that I did. Okay, so I was in the ribbon fanatic again. And I have a bunch of patriotic ribbon because I've made wreaths. So I took that ribbon and took 2 panels and wrapped them around a card topper. A little harder to stick down, so it looks like I need to stick some glue over here again. But this is the ribbon that I got. And I took the word celebrate that I have, and it's the shadow one too. So I cut that in gold and then cut the blue celebrate in my mirror cardstock. And then it already had the glitter. I wasn't trying to do that glitter, but I have these little stars, these gold stars. So I added a few of those. And then I have these really tiny ones that I got a grab bag from Michael's, and it had slime in it. Well, no, not plain with slime, but it did have it had packages of a bunch. I mean, it's packed. The package is only this big, but it is chock full of those tiny little gold stars. So I threw those tiny little gold stars on. And now I have a nice 4th of July celebration card. And then this one, I had these little, I think I got these from Temu, these little star-like holographic pieces. So I put those on because I didn't have any silver stars. And then I had a little strip of paper that had sticky on the back that I tried to run through a Xyron paper sticker. And I just ink blended it with red, cut out a white happy, and then cut out a little piece of paper and stamped the 4 and then the TH. And then just stuck that down. It was fairly simple. It still has an impact. And I think those are pretty cool. So these two, I didn't finish because I'm running out of cards. So these are just the card toppers, but I have ribbon that has the red truck with the fireworks in it. And I also have this ribbon that repeats the United States and USA. And these all repeat. So these could be cute, simple cards on a card toppers. Just, taking ribbon and putting them on card toppers. And it doesn't have to cover the whole thing. You can do it in the band. And that's what I did. I just did it across the middle. And you can attach these on a card and send these to anyone. Okay, so my last card that I did in this theme was this one. And this one was a slimline, which I'm not very good at slimlines. But I had this die is the star. And I did one around Christmas time. But my intent was to do for 4th of July. So I started off cutting it out in red, silver, and blue and mirror card. And then, of course, it has the center in it, so I was like, well, let me do the reversal. And it looked a little plain still. So then I found a star in my Christmas dies and cut out a star in each one and did them in different so they would sit differently. So all 3 of these have red, silver, and blue. Red, silver, and blue here, and red, silver, and blue here. I had taken a piece of holographic card, put that down, and then I had a strip of vellum. Didn't look very good. And then my stars were crooked. They weren't even. Well, I couldn't peel it off the vellum because it was stuck. And so I just kind of like choppy cut around it. I first tried to do a design, but my scissors, the design scissors, don't like to cut through vellum. So it was just kind of like ripping them, partially cutting them. And so I just kind of like rough cut around it. It still looks pretty good. I think I got some ink over here. Still looks pretty good, but it looks pretty crooked. And I'm not gonna beat myself up because I thought I cut it straight. But I still think it's a cool looking card. It's not my best card, but I still think it looks neat. So maybe somebody will get it, or it'll sit in my stash, but I'm not usually like that type of card. And then I had seen, I think her YouTube channel's called MB Cards, I think it is. Um, she's from Europe somewhere. I keep trying to figure out her accent, but it might be England. I'm not quite sure. But it was either her or it was someone else. Had made, no, actually, it was somebody else. Sorry, it wasn't MB Cards. It was somebody else. And I don't remember who it was. But she was doing these other techniques where she was taking her stamp and putting ink on the table and spraying water and then doing the back side of the stamp, the part that sticks to your platform or it sticks to your acrylic block. That part she was sticking in the ink and stamping it on paper. And then she was doing a stamp like this. It just looked too messy to me, and I didn't really want to try that. I wanted to do ink blending. It looks neat when you do that because it's not controlled, so it kind of looked neat. But I took a piece out of what she was doing and did it just a little bit different. So I just blended some pink, some purple, made sure they overlapped, and then some greens. And then here I did yellow, orange, making sure that they overlap, and then the greens. And then I went and digging in my stamps and found 2 stamps and then just stamped it on with black. And then just did a backer for it that pulled one of the colors from it. Then stamped Time to Celebrate and threw 5 of the 3D diamond pieces on, one of each of the colors, and I think it looks cute. So that's a simple thing that if you want to do your whole panel with whether ink blending or smashing, whatever technique you want to do, and do a simple stamp, that's an impactful card too. So just, I mean, not sitting there coloring each one, it's just kind of like an abstract. That's how I think it, how I see it. So then, of course, I pulled out another stamp, which I pulled out for a background. And I was like, oh, man, I love this stamp. I never use it. I think I've used it one time. And I'm like, it's absolutely pretty. So I started with this one. And I started to ink blend. Just dipped it in the ink and then took the little brush, almost like watercolor, but without the water. Just used the straight ink. And I know I've seen that done so many times, but the list is long of everyone who's done that. So I just dipped that little obnoxious brush that I don't like to use and dipped them in there and did the darker color in the center and did the lighter color on the outer edge and tried to do a little bit of blending so that it didn't look so blobbed on. And it was a whole panel, and I don't even know what I did with the other one. Oh, okay. So it was a whole panel that I had done. And I cut it, and I was like, I want the bigger side. And then I took one of my scrapbooking scissors and cut the edge so it wasn't a flat edge. And then took some dies that I had previously cut out and put happy birthday. And then I found another die that was similar to the flowers on here, cut it twice, and then put a little bit of bling in the holes because there's little holes there and those pop out. And I took those little dots and just randomly put them around the card instead of throwing it out. Waste not, want not. So I think it turned out pretty cute. It's a bunch of different inks, a bunch of different colors that I have. And it's not super busy. I think it's nice that you get to read that because it's not layered up, not sitting on top of, because this is really busy. You would have to like blank out, use white, and you would cover up quite a bit of your image just so you could put a sentiment on it. That's how busy this is. And I thought it was too much. And then I would have had to do a block of white and stamp it or whatever just to get the sentiment on it. And the image is too busy and too colorful. So that's why I cut it. And then you're able to see clearly happy birthday. And you still get the pretty flowers. I thought about adding some leaves, but then I was like, I just don't want to keep adding too much because there's already quite a bit going on right here. So I think this one turned out nice too. And then this was the second time I was doing it. I found that dark ink, which hopefully is dried. I absolutely love dark blue. And I grabbed one of my, actually it was this one, which you would not even think that would be the color that it comes out. But I took this with a little brush and then just did the inside edges of all the flowers. It doesn't even look like the same color. This looks teal, and maybe it pulled some of the dark blue while I was doing it. But that's the color. And I just did all the centers of the flowers. I had taken some white of those diamond painting 3D dots, some white ones. I think I put 3 white ones down, and then I have a really light blue, and so I added a bunch of those in different areas. And then I had a dye, not even sure what it is. I think it's supposed to be a flower because there's a hole in the center. Doesn't look like a flower to me. I just thought I need something in the corners. I had cut out a background dye, and it has the stitch edge, and put them in the corners, and then I took the light blue so that it would stand out and put them in those holes. And then I had cut some of these leaves in a pearl paper that I have. They're like leaves and flower stems, and just had them stick behind, and then did the foam tape and had this already pre-cut, so I just stamped sending you a happy hello. And we have a pretty card. I love these colors together. I'm so impartial to blue, but you could literally do this with any color that you have. 2 colors that go together. Because this one I had stamped in green because of all the leaves, and then I could fill in the flowers with the colors. But this one I stamped in blue and only the centers of the flowers. And this being the same exact stamp and got 2 different results. So I think those are pretty thinking cool. So I think that is everything that I did the last couple of nights. I tried to organize some of my papers, my scraps. I did some organizing of my inks. My craft room is a complete disaster still. I ended up working almost a 15-hour shift Sunday morning and pretty exhausted, so I came home and passed out. Got up, cooked dinner, and passed out again. Except I didn't sleep that good that time. So I took a nap today. My body was definitely telling me I did not get enough sleep. I was exhausted. And I made some mistakes at work, but oh well. This is the same print, except oddly enough, this I had the stamp on my platform and I sprayed it with a stamp cleaner, and then I just took this piece of paper and mashed it on top. Kind of an interesting background. You get the pattern, and then it's kind of messy at the same time. It was kind of fun to do that though. So that is all of my adventures. Hopefully something in this inspires you, because I definitely got inspired by others. And hopefully you try something. If not, you just liked watching to see what I come up with. I appreciate you watching. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.